Hey everybody, so today's video is going to be a top 10 list of the most evil Game of Thrones characters based on the TV series and not the books. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment below on what you guys think should be the top 10 most evil characters. Did I get it right, or do you guys disagree with me? Please let me know, and let's begin. Number 10, Janos Slynt. Although a minor character in the series, he has had a major impact on the current turmoil facing Westeros. While commander of the City Watch of King's Landing, he agreed to help Eddard Stark remove Joffrey and his family from the Iron Throne, and later betrays him, captures Ed Stark, and slaughters his men. This moment could have prevented the war between North and South in Westeros, although the Lannisters would probably try to invade King's Landing. He also carried out the gruesome execution of Robert Baratheon's bastards, and in one scene he orders his men to kill a baby, and his men refuse, and he takes a knife and does it himself. He is killed by Arya Stark later on in the TV show. Number 9 on the list is Euron Greyjoy, the insane younger brother of Balon Greyjoy. He returns to the Iron Islands from exile and then proceeds to kill his brother to take his place as Lord of the Iron Islands. He also wanted to kill, or he still wants to kill, his nephew Theon Greyjoy and his niece Yara Greyjoy, who narrowly escaped his clutches during the coronation ceremony. He is a wild man who seeks power and fortune by any means. Although regarded by those around him as insane, he is an adept naval tactician who was able to destroy Yara's fleet. Number 7, Walder Frey. To not only betray your ally, but to do it during their wedding is why Walder Frey makes this list. This greedy old man, who is a lord of House Frey, he extorted Robb Stark and his army to have an arranged marriage in order to cross the twins. Where at this wedding, he massacred Robb Stark, Talisha Stark, and Catelyn Stark, as well as most of the army of the North. He is also a child molester, having married many underage girls and getting them pregnant. He and most of House Frey are killed by skilled assassin Arya Stark. Number 8, Kraznys Monoglues. Kraznys Monoglues is a slave trader in the city of Astaphor who trains the Unsullied. He tells Daenerys that the training begins at the age of 5, and due to the brutal conditions of the training, only 1 in 4 completes training. He shows little regard for his slaves, going as far to cut off the nipple of one of the Unsullied soldiers to demonstrate that they don't feel pain. He shows no respect to Daenerys Targaryen, often making vile remarks in Valyrian. He meets his end as he agrees to trade 8,000 Unsullied for 1 dragon and is burned alive by Daenerys' dragon. Number 6, Cersei Lannister. She is by far the most cold, calculating character in the entire series, if not TV as a whole. She would do whatever it takes to retain power and sit on the Iron Throne. The daughter of military genius and Lord of House Lannister, Tywin Lannister, she learned from an early age how to play the Game of Thrones. Cersei is a widow of the late King Robert Baratheon, which makes her children the heirs to the Iron Throne, though secretly she had an incestuous relationship with her brother Jaime Lannister, who is the true father/uncle of her children. Later in the series, she is forced by religious fanatics called the Faith Militant, who gained power in King's Landing after the death of her father, to walk from the Septa Baelor to the palace naked as the small folk spit and throw stuff on her. She gets her revenge by blowing up the Septa Baelor, killing her and Marjorie Tyrell, her cousin Lancel Lannister, Mace Tyrell, and hundreds of others in and around the Septa Baelor. Number 5, Viserys Targaryen. If there's one character in this show who was completely full of himself, it is Viserys Targaryen. The son of the Mad King, he fled to Essos as a child along with his sister Daenerys Targaryen at the end of Robert's Rebellion. There in Essos, he's been trying to raise an army in order to retake the Iron Throne. Now, this is a guy who cares little for anyone else other than himself and believes that he has a right to sit on the Iron Throne just because he has the last name Targaryen. and he forced his own sister to marry Khal Drogo in order to raise a Dothraki army. And he told his sister that we go home with an army, with Khal Drogo's army, I would let his whole tribe fuck you, all 40,000 men, and their horses too, if that's what it took. His time throughout the show as a pompous asshole eventually leads to his own demise, as he threatened Khal Drogo by holding a wife to Daenerys' pregnant stomach and demanding they invade Westeros to get his Iron Crown and sit on the Iron Throne. When he let his guard down, he was restrained by Khal Drogo's soldiers, and Khal Drogo proceeded to pour a molten gold on top of his head, and he ushers out a crown for a king. Number 4, King Joffrey Baratheon. The only reason that Joffrey is not higher on the list is because he is a child throughout most of the TV series. Despite his adolescence, Joffrey has created his reputation as a sadist who enjoys torturing those around him. He is also responsible for the death of many of the show's characters, including Eddard Stark, all of King Robert's bastards. He is responsible for the Red Wedding and killing of random prostitutes and many other citizens of Westeros. He also put Eddard Stark's head on a pike and forced Sansa Stark to look at her father's decapitated head. He is killed by Lady Olenna Tyrell with Nightshade at the Purple Wedding. Number 3, the Night King. Now, how could we leave the person who's going to bring about the apocalypse off the list? The leader of the White Walker horde who won't stop until every living soul in Westeros is dead or is a mindless reanimated zombie. The Night King is the first White Walker who was created by the Children of the Forest to protect themselves from the first men who were expanding north and cutting down their sacred trees, as well as slaughtering the Children of the Forest. Eventually, the White Walkers rebelled against the Children of the Forest and were eventually defeated by an alliance of the first men and Children of the Forest. The Night King retreated to the Land of Always Winter, where he regained his strength and built a massive army. The Night King's advance south has caused a mass migration of wildlings to seek refuge as far south as possible. He is responsible for the massacre of Hardhome, where those who were able to evacuate were slaughtered and reanimated. And he is also responsible for turning tens of thousands of wildlings and other citizens of the north into White Walkers. Number 2, Gregor Clegane, more commonly known as the Mountain, who is a knight of House Clegane and is the older brother of Sandor Clegane. He is feared throughout Westeros with a reputation for his ferocity, brutality, and anger. He has committed unspeakable acts of violence, such as brutally torturing his victims to death, raping women, and murdering children. Gregor participated in the sack of King's Landing. After entering the Red Keep, he viciously killed Rhaegar's 2 children by Elia Martell, their daughter Rhaenys, and baby Aegon. He killed baby Aegon by bashing his head against the wall, and then, while still covered in the gore from her children, proceeded to viciously rape Elia, after which he killed her. It is rumored that he killed her by cutting her in half with a single swing from his massive sword, although he later claimed that he smashed her head in. He is nearly killed in a duel by Elia's brother, Oberyn Martell, and he narrowly defeats him. He sustains injuries from poison that was on Oberyn's blades during this duel, and is treated by Qyburn and is brought back from the brink, becoming somewhat of a speechless monster that serves Cersei Lannister. And finally, number 1, it is Ramsay Bolton, which is probably a surprise to nobody. This is by far the most vile character on Game of Thrones. Ramsay Bolton is the bastard son of Roose Bolton, Lord of House Bolton, which for a banner has a red flayed man upside down on an X-shaped white cross. Some of the heinous acts committed by Ramsay Bolton was killing his own father, feeding his stepmom and brother to hungry dogs while they were still alive. He castrated Theon and pretended to eat his penis, and he repeatedly raped Sansa, and he brutally murdered innocent people for his own sadistic enjoyment. Ramsay Bolton has no redeeming moments in the entire series. There is not a moment where he is not acting like a complete and utter psychopath. This is why his death in the show is probably one of the most celebrated in the entire series. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment on what you guys think. Have a nice day.